Hello, and welcome back to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I am the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and pictured in a beautiful 1980s Vancouver Canucks jersey, and on your screen, FHM producer Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back on the drive for 5 New York Islanders. It is January 4th, 1984. And we are sitting pretty darn good, I'd say, Jeff.
Huh? Yeah, pretty good first half of the season. Second in the conference, I think. 1, 2, 3. Well, fourth in the league. But we got a reasonable shot at repeating. Although it looks like Montreal is having a fantastic year. I'm not sure what exactly's been going on there. Okay, yeah, Lafleur has a big sort of a comeback year. Robinson's having a good year. That's interesting. It's kind of the Montreal dynasty teams from the 70s, the leftovers of that, and then they're better teams from the late 80s, mid to late 80s. So they might be trouble for us. But anyhow, we have to get to the end of the regular season first. So we are doing, we're actually, I should say first, if you didn't see last week, or the last time we did this, we are in challenge mode.
Yes. And doing the New York Islanders challenge.
Yeah, this is the Islanders challenge. The challenge being to win their 5th consecutive Stanley Cup. And looks like Ken Morrow is ready to come off the injured list. And we've got Terry O'Reilly, who we picked up from fairly cheaply from the Bruins in a trade. Almost back, but not quite ready yet. And I think I'm going to have to send him at 23. Couple of day-to-day injuries. We're not really going through the individual games in this one so much, just because we want to try and rush this along and get to the playoffs, which will be the interesting part. I think it's pretty much a guarantee that we're going to make those.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Deneen out and Morrow in. So I'm kind of leaning on the AI to do the lines for the most part. Oh, I do have enough forwards. Okay, that's all right. So I will just sort of run this through probably about 1 week at a time.
Now, you put a couple of self-imposed guys we couldn't have on the team, correct, in our last game?
Right, we had, almost forgot about that, Pat LaFontaine and Pat Flatley, who in real life this year were Islanders at the end of the season, but they were actually playing the Olympics for the Canadian and the American national teams this year. And what did Gretzky do? No, just a 5-assist night, nothing big for him. LaFontaine and Flatley were playing for their national teams, so they will be back. I think the Olympics ended, what do we say, the end of February? So I will call them up at that point, but just to keep it reasonably realistic, I'm putting that little handicap on myself. Wow, 13-1 against the Oilers. I didn't. Let's back up and take a look at that. Nice, 6-1 after the first period. 6-9-1. When did we blow the shutout? Oh, midway through the first, Dave Tippett. Bob Bourne, 8 points. Bossy, 6 points. That's not a bad way to start off.
No, not at all. Ratcast in the chat, our friend Ratcast, says O'Reilly and Gills had some battles. Which I think is a fairly fair assessment.
Yeah. Yeah, O'Reilly's almost back. Or almost back. Gonna turn the personal messages thing off just for we can sim through listening to this a little faster without getting interrupted as often. And there we go, O'Reilly's back. And send somebody down. Let's see, Gilbert is probably a little too far along, and I think Wayne Merrick hasn't really done much this season. Still probably viable as a checking forward, but don't really have a use for him right now, so if he gets picked up on waivers, not the end of the world.
That half-star defenseman?
Yeah, Mike McEwen, who's they actually traded him, I think, to LA partway through this season. He was pretty much done at this point. Been a pretty good player for the Cup teams, but leave Pearson out, but kind of went downhill in a hurry. And yeah, work O'Reilly back in slowly. That's why we got him so cheaply. He's kind of nearing the end of his career too at this point. But he'll be a good guy to have around in the playoffs. And Michel Goulet, 17-game point scoring streak. And you can see I'm only able to go week to week in this because it's challenge mode. That means, or the historical challenges are in challenge mode, so that limits the amount you can advance at one time. Nothing too eventful going on there, and Tonelli should almost be 100% healthy.
All right.
Oh, we got the missing gloves storyline happening. Brian McClellan of the Kings.
Didn't that happen in our game last time?
Don't
feel it did.
Don't think it should be happening that often. No, I'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, everybody's healthy now, so Tonelli can go in, and Anders Kahlur can sit out. And trading deadline is not till March the 6th, so I think I'll get wait until I bring Flatley and LaFontaine up, and then we'll see what positions we need to fill. How did Claire get back in there? After we add those two, we'll see what the weaknesses look like. I'm guessing it's probably defense.
Likely.
Okay, it's the end of January. And yeah, it's typical 1980s, all these guys with point scoring streaks. Kent Nielsen's at 17 games. Gretzky's at 15. In fact, what are we? Still got a healthy lead on top of the Patrick there. We're at 55 games in. And I'm guessing Gretzky's got probably, about 120, 130? 130 points exactly. So your typical early 80s Gretzky season, he's 40 points ahead of everybody else already. Only problem is we got to deal with that in the finals if they make it that far, and if we make it that far. And looks like a minor injury for Goring, and how long is Kahlur out? Oh, I can actually put him on the injured list if I wanted to bring up anybody else. See LaFontaine and Flatley down there ready to come up. Flatley probably won't contribute a whole lot this year, but LaFontaine will be nice to have.
Yeah. Well, maybe we dangle one of them as trade bait for a defenseman.
might be a possibility, but I mean, we're trying to win the challenge too, so not necessarily care about how well the Islanders do in a few years from now. Yeah, we're getting hit by a lot of little injuries, nothing too serious, but enough to juggle the lineup around a little bit. Almost up to the end of February, and then I'm going to start slowing this down a little bit instead of... oh, Potvan's hurt. But only a bruised thumb, thankfully. Yeah, that, especially with Potvin out, that defense is not looking too impressive. How did I? I must have had the AI setup organization. I didn't want Flafontaine up yet. I should answer that email.
Ratcat in the chat says I was crushed in the early 80s when the Isles took game 1 and 2 in Boston. Didn't feel so bad when they won it all, though. It's true. You do feel less bad when that happens.
Oh, why did I do that? I'm hitting AI setup organization instead of having it do the lines. Okay. Let's try to do it properly this time. There we go. Except I didn't have enough forwards dressed. And just trying to get it around to the trading deadline, then we'll start looking for some defensive help, probably. Starting to see a few trades as we get closer to the deadline. Canucks and Leafs making one. Jim Korn for Lars Moline, basically. Marcel Dion gets his 1,000th point, and Potvin is back, thankfully.
Woohoo.
Ratcast in the chat asking if the Blackhawks had to play a home game in Long Island because of a Led Zeppelin concert. I don't remember that one. I remember the Leafs got screwed up in the first round one year. I think it was because what group was it had booked a concert when the same day they had the Yes, it was Yes. They had a concert scheduled for what turned out to be a playoff date.
Oops.
And Harold Ballard didn't want to lose the money on that, so...
There's a shocker.
Oh, it's a leap year. And, okay, playing against the early 80s Jets. Any predictions here, Adam?
What year? 1984? Well, they'd be decent. I'll say 6-4 Islanders win.
Simming it, and that's a 3-2 loss, actually. Jets won.
Well, I was half right.
And, funnily enough, he never actually made it to the NHL in real life, but Kirk McCaskill, former California Angel, with the winning goal.
Even better.
So maybe he actually would have stayed in hockey then. If he made it that far. Okay, March 1st, I'm going to call up LaFontaine and Flatley now. How do I make room for him now? McEwen is going to go down. LaFontaine up and Flatley up as well too, I think. Oh wow, O'Reilly dropped down to 1 star. That's not good news. Wondering what guy I should shop here. It's tempting to try to get something for LaFontaine because it's almost feels like cheating though. The Islanders never would have done that in real life. Dumped their future for 1 more cup. See, there's a lot of veterans there that I can probably get decent playoffs out of. And probably won't bring that much back in a trade, so I don't want to really move any of those guys. Oh, the goalies. That's right. Because we've still got... oh no, we traded Melanson. That's how we got O'Reilly, I think, isn't it?
I don't recall, to be honest.
I could move Kelly Rudy too, and get a backup as part of the deal, and like a Rudy and one of our defensemen for a good defenseman and a passable backup. We just see. I'm going to look around the league through the trading blocks to see if anybody is. Nobody's got a really good defend. No, yeah, it's all half star, 1 star, 1.5 star. The only 2-star guy available is Randy Gregg.
Nah.
Yeah, I mean it would hurt Edmonton a little bit to get him off of them, but I'm not trading with the Oilers because they're the team that we're going to be trying to beat. So let's see who's near the bottom of the standings and may want to move somebody. Okay, Peng. Yeah, this is one of the lead up to Lemieux seasons. Randy Carlyle off the Penguins. They're dead last in the league right now.
That'd be a good pickup.
Their goaltending is absolutely terrible, so that would be a huge upgrade for them to get Rudy. I think this might actually work. So Carlisle, and I'd want one of their goalies back. None of them are particularly impressive or having good years. Michel Dion, Denny Herron, and they've somehow got Mario Lessard from LA, who's done even worse than Dion and Herron. I think I'll try Dion. So Carlisle and Dion for Rudy, and I got a younger defenseman to offer them. I'm going to try Darcy Regier. He's not really young, but and the scout says they'll probably take it, so I will make the offer and let's see what happens. It's a little easier than I thought. Oh, we're into the we're at the trading deadline? Oh, we're close enough that it's
Giving instant responses.
yeah, instant responses. It's close. Let's see if I throw in a 3rd rounder. And yeah, they're good with Kelly Rudy or Darcy Regier, 3rd round pick for Carlisle and Dion. So we got a pretty shaky backup now, although Dion's sort of underrated, I think. I'll have to take a look at his numbers in the database after this. But the important thing is we've got... had Carlisle won a Norris at this point yet? I think, yeah, he had.
No,
I think he had the... I think he did. Didn't he have that one before Langley won it a few times in a row? I think.
I honestly don't know. I'm going to Google it right now.
But anyhow, massive upgrade, and will give us a little more scoring from the blue line because Pearson isn't really an NHLer anymore. And so who do I sit? Boudelier.
He won the Norris Trophy in 1981.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm actually going to waive Pearson, and I want to call up Flatley. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Okay, and see what the guy is going to do with this. Flatley.
I think Winnipeg won that trade.
Okay, some nice depth here. Carlisle's going to play right D on the first line with Potvin. Morrow. I'm still not crazy about the amount of depth on defense, but forward-wise, we're looking really great. And the owner's happy with us. That's good. And we've got a few numbers to assign here. And Flatley wants 26, but Dave Langevin has that, so I'm going to give him 62 ahead, and he's okay with that.
All right.
Okay, so forward and now on to the playoffs now, hopefully. Looks like the Whalers fired their coach. Yeah, dead last in the Adams. And 14 games left. We're 7 points up on the Rangers, so I think we're...
Wait, what? Who fired their coach?
The Whalers.
Oh, I thought you said the Oilers.
No.
And I was like, what?
The Oilers are almost 1 point behind Montreal in the overall standings right now, so that would not make a lot of sense.
Well, that's why I was confused.
And there's a Canucks, 18, 49, and 3. Yeah, the Jets actually look like they're going to make the playoffs here, although that was a lot easier at this point. And sure enough, Randy Carlisle somehow gets injured back tightness for a week or two, so enough to take him out of the lineup, but not too serious. Yeah, day-to-day, nothing serious. Oh, here we go. Cam Neely had a great game for... Oh, where'd it go? Cam Neely with a hat trick for Vancouver, so they'll definitely be trading him soon. And then we beat the Kings 9-2, and the Kings. No, the Kings. What am I doing? The Kings beat the Penguins. Kings beat the Penguins 9-2. And I was looking for Bossy's game. Yeah, had a hat trick against Hartford, so we should be almost to the end of the regular season now. 7 more games. And Carlisle's almost ready to come back, but naturally Dave Langevin gets hurt.
Of course.
I keep hitting AI setup organization instead of lines. I don't mean to do that. So, has that screwed up my roster? I want to call up one more defenseman just let's bring Pearson back up.
All right.
Question in chat, does the new version still have the forced trade option? Yeah, if you're in commissioner mode, you can still do that.
Yeah, but you can't do that in challenge mode.
Yep, so which we can't do right now.
Yeah, so you can't force trade when you're doing historical challenges.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a little unfair.
Yeah, kind of easy to win the challenge.
Just a little.
Ah, there we go. Great night for Tiger Williams. What happened? Canucks must have won. Great night for Tiger Williams and great night for Thomas Gradine, but the Canucks lost to the Flames anyhow. Tiger had 4 points, so. And Canucks are looking at firing their coach, apparently. Three games left. Yeah, this was pretty much getting near the low end of the Canucks in the 80s.
Huh. There were a couple guys appeared on waivers in my game.
Chat question: can in fantasy mode, can you pick your draft position? No, that's random at the start of the game.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're asking about the opening draft for players. Must be almost okay. There we go. End of the regular season. So we finished with 97 points, which for by the Islanders standards in that era wasn't that great. I think they finished, or they were 104 in real life, so we were a little behind that, but I think they didn't really make a lot of player moves during the season. We made a couple of decent-sized ones that should help us in the players. And wow, the Oilers finished with 132 points, first in the league. So, assuming nobody knocks them off on the other side of the playoffs, that's probably who we're looking at in the finals, assuming we can beat Montreal too. But it looks like we get Washington in the first round.
Which, of course.
Yeah, well, Washington had been pretty bad for a lot of years, but by this point they were starting to improve quite a bit. I'm just going to take a quick look at the season stats for Bossy with 60 goals, 120 points, Trotche 111 points, so they're still doing fine. Big year from John Tonelli. Nystrom with a surprisingly high-scoring year. Potvin didn't have a lot of points, but missed 20 games with injuries. So we've got 3 good scoring defensemen. Still got that veteran core. O'Reilly didn't do much after coming over. LaFontaine, 12 points in 16 games since coming back from the Olympics. And yeah, we got depth. Dion only played a couple of games for us, but we're going to be going with Billy Smith full-time in the playoffs.
Which is exactly what we wanted.
Yeah. So let's get set up for the playoffs here. Looking at, I'm going to have to pull one defenseman out, make room for Langevin. So it'll either be Deneen or Boudelier, and Deneen was minus 24 during the regular season. How do you do that on a 97-point team?
I don't know.
And I want O'Reilly in for the playoffs, even though he's down to 1 star. Still a solid 4th liner, but I think I'm going to pull Pat Flatley out, the rookie, and put Butch Goring back in. So he's won 4 cups for us at this point. See how the AI wants to set up the lines. First 2 make sense. Sutter Brothers and Greg Gilbert on the 3rd, and then the veteran line. Veteran 4th line, I'm going to take a minute or so off the middle lines and give it to the 4th line. And Carlisle moved to the 2nd pair. Okay. Gonna up their time a little bit. Now, the line matching, I think I'm gonna... That 4th line is a fairly... I'm gonna take Goring out of the sniper role, but first. Have him play a little bit more of a 2-way role.
Interesting. Probably a good call.
Yeah, that line may score a little bit. I'm just wondering, should I match them up to a higher line? Have the Sutters against the... Actually, I'm going to try to match them with the other team's first line to start off with. If that doesn't go well, I'll switch it back, but they're good enough for a 4th line, and I think they can handle that. So that should take us around to the game 1 against the Capitals, and let's just take a... Actually, we can do that from the preview screen.
Oh, that's harsh.
Take a quick look at the Capitals. So yeah, Bobby Carpenter, Mike Gartner, Dave Christian, and obviously Langway and Stevens. That's the bigger problem, but Al Jensen and Pat Reagan in goal, so not that tough. So I don't think they're good enough offensively or defensively to stay with us. So let's start this
I
up.
said in the game, I'm just a little bit behind you, but traded for Carlisle using your suggestion. He got hurt, just about 100% full, ready to come back, and gets kidney stones.
Ouch.
Rough go.
And I will mute the sound so we're not deafening
You
each
can put
other.
it on low.
Actually, wait. I've got it. Now we're done all goals. Okay. It's nice to be able to go into that now. We just added that in the last update where you can... Your settings will stay saved from game to game. You're not having to completely reset them, and yeah, we're out shooting them 5-6-1 beginning of the halfway through the first period. And looks like we got a goal coming, and Mike Bossy makes it 1-0. 2 minutes left in the first.
Excellent.
Yep, working pretty well so far. Don't see anybody with a game rating that's really headed south, so everybody's playing reasonably well. Oh, tactically we're not doing that great. Have to maybe take a look at that. Although Bob Bourne just made it 2-0, so maybe I'm not going to worry too much about that. Though we just blew what looked like an extended 2-man advantage there.
Ouch.
But hanging on to that 2-0 lead, and Alan Haworth makes it 2-1. Just going to stop it and quickly jump into strategy and cut down the offensive risk-taking a little bit, slow down the tempo a bit. And not going into full-on defensive shell yet, but and 3-1. And 4-1 into the empty net, so that went about as expected. I think I'll probably sim the second game of the series.
Excellent. Can you create a player yourself in franchise mode? Yes, but in historic.
If assuming you're not in challenge mode, because then
Yeah.
you need to you need to be able to edit to do that, and that's only in commissioner mode. And we won 6-3, and Bossy had the hat trick. So I think this series is going to be over relatively quickly. I'll sim this one again. And sure enough, we lose this time, 3-1 to the Capitals.
Of course.
So maybe I should pay attention next game. Don't think anybody needs to come onto the lineup. See if I can, I'm just trying to find countering rolls here that aren't going to screw me up too much. That should take a few points off the Caps, and I will watch this one. That's a little closer, but that didn't quite... Starting to wonder about the tactic we picked, although Potvin opens it up for us, so... They're playing reasonably well, at least. Billy Smith gives up one to Dave Christian. Ouch.
Of course.
And Thomas Janssen, 2-1 for the Islanders. At the end of one. But Bobby Carpenter ties it up. Don't really want to lose this one because that'll put them back even in the series. And Grod Langway makes it 3-2. That's not good.
Excellent.
Come on, guys. Okay, there we go. We're going to get it back. No, Mike Gardner makes it 4-2. Come on. Now, at least John Tonelli gets one with 20 seconds left in the period, so we're only down by 1. But I am going to open things up a little bit more in the third. So we better get one back here. But nope, Glenn Curry, 5-3 for the Capitals. That is not good news. (6-3). Okay, well, we're just completely falling apart at this point.
In typical playoff
Probably shouldn't
fashion.
have tinkered with the rolls. And 7-3. So they're gonna. No, we didn't pull Smith, but might as well have. 8-3. Oh, for. So much for our hot goalie.
Yep.
So do I just sim the next one on the theory that that always works out better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Oh, great! And Dwayne Sutter got hurt. Whiplash, so he may be back for the next one. Nope, Sutter is still out. Gonna have to put in Flatley, the rookie, and okay, let's just go completely hands off here. I'll go with whatever the AI wants, and we will sim the game. And we went on overtime. 5-4. So let's do that one more time. And Dwayne Sutter is back, so I can switch him out. Chat question: what's the biggest deficit either of you have ever overcome in this game? You remember offhand, Adam?
In like our franchise hockey manager stream series,
or just in general? I'm trying to remember from the streams if there's been one time in particular.
Well, we were down 3-1 on the Maple Leafs back in FHM 3 the Wings.
Yeah, I think that might be the biggest one I can remember.
I know we were up 3-0 and lost one too.
But we don't talk about that.
I will never forgive it for happening, Jeff.
Well, I wasn't even thinking of it. That was more important than I realized. I forgot the first round was best of 5, so that was actually game 5.
We're out?
We won that in overtime. Just barely. That was almost we were almost filling 15 minutes of dead air there at the end of the show.
Well, that's pretty much what we do anyways.
And the Islanders, so first round, recap, Canadians have no trouble with the Bruins. Sabres beat the Nordiques, so Montreal and Buffalo. There's the other series in our conference, and the Rangers beat the Devils 3-2. And over on the other side, Hawks beat the Blues 3-2. Minnesota sweeps the Leafs, so Chicago, Minnesota in one series over there. Calgary swept the Jets 3-0, and Edmonton swept the Kings 3-0. But hey, the Jets actually made the playoffs. Would that have been the first time?
Of course they did. My memory's failing. Yeah, it'd be close.
But we got some pretty good second round series. Us and the Rangers, and Flames and the Oilers. So we've got everybody healthy again, I think. You know, O'Reilly isn't really doing anything as much as I wanted to have him in the playoffs. I think I'm going to switch him in Flatley for at least the opener. And, well, it worked out good simming last time, so let's see if our luck holds up if I do it again. And a 5-1 win. Nobody injured, and the Rangers have a couple of serious injuries around Greshner and Pierre LaRouche, so that's good news for us. Yeah, well, we cruised through that one. John Tonelli with the hat trick. And that worked so well, let's try it again. And we lose 4-2 this time out.
That's about right.
So maybe we have to take the Rangers a little bit more seriously. Gonna play it, but yeah, I'm kind of questioning our tactics choice now. So we seem to be going at a big tactical advantage most of the time. And the Rangers make it 1-0. And the Rangers make it 2-0. So Billy Smith, for being a great playoff goalie, isn't exactly having a fantastic year for us here.
As he should be.
And 3-0. What is going on here? And they're Van Beesbroek has the little snowflake icon for being the cold goalie. He shouldn't be the one that's giving up these goals, not Smith, who's still relatively hot, although that's probably going to change after this game. And we've only got 4 shots halfway through the second period.
Change it to all-out offense.
Yeah. High risk, high tempo. Let's pick it up, boys. We just got nothing going. We'll finally take a couple of shots, but there's no offense at all from us. Oh, finally, Ken Morrow gets one. Breaks the shutout. And hey, 3-2. Brent Sutter with that one, and we're only down by 1 going into the third. So at least they woke up a little bit. They didn't get a ton of shots, but a couple of them went in at least. Still down by 1, getting near halfway through the third period. I've got his offense. Oh, there we go. Dave Barr makes it 4-2 for the Rangers. No, Greg Gilbert 4-3 for us. So back within 1. Might not be done yet. But we are 4-3 Rangers. Okay. So, time to consider some lineup changes. I don't think the Flatley for O'Reilly thing worked out well, so let's switch that back. And look at the playoff stats just to see how we're... Botvin's playing well. Bourne, LaFontaine. Where the heck are Trottier and Vossi? Oh, I didn't have it scrolled down all the way there at the top. Wow, Butch Goring not doing too well. Ken Morrow not having a great playoff. Okay, questionable as this is, I think I'm going to maybe take Goring out and put in Billy Carroll, a younger center. And Deneen out for Boudelier. Yeah, bring in the muscle. I haven't got any muscle. That's maybe part of the problem.
Nah, it's not the problem. A lot offensive.
I will go a little bit more offensive off the start. Try to take advantage of having Bossy and Trache in there. And we go down 1-0 early. This challenge may not be working out. Mike Bossy ties it up for us. We have a little long time. I think we may have to sim the next one if we get back in this. And Bossy again. Okay. So we had to unleash Mike Bossy. Randy Carlisle makes it 3-1. Now we're going again.
All right.
Jan Eriksson 3-2 for us. And Billy Smith lets in another one. Tied 3-3 at the end of the first. And of course I've got absolutely no other options in goal because we trade them away. Greg Gilbert makes it 4-3 for us. And one of the Sutters 5-3. Okay. I just don't hand this lead back again. James Patrick makes it 5-4 as soon as I say that.
Of course, that's how that
5-4 and it's only halfway through the game. It's 80s hockey. Greg Gilbert having a big game. First 3 points so far makes it 6-4. And we're getting outshot pretty badly, but somehow we're getting the pucks in the net. Oh, it looks like the Rangers pulled John Van Beesbrook and put in Glenn Hanlon, but not good enough because we're now up 7-4. So hopefully we've got both of their goalies cold now, and we can. Now that I think about it, I should have been going a little bit more high risk offensively from the start because we had the goaltending advantage. And 7-4 Islanders final. And in fact, I'm going to go into our strategy, global tactics, and let's just make that high risk the default from this point out. So I'm going to sim this one because we're running a little low on time. And 7-3 Islanders win. So we are up 3-2 in the series. Montreal's winning theirs. Minnesota and Chicago are tied. And Edmonton swept the Flames. So it's looking really likely that if we do make it to the finals, we're going to be looking at Edmonton.
Well, that's not shocking, though. I mean, kind of knew that was going to happen.
That's how it wound up. Oh, the Rangers managed to win that 5-4, take it to Game 7. Oh boy, and we lost Pat LaFontaine with a hamstring strain for 13 days. So Butch Goring is going to need to go back into the lineup, whether I like it or not. And we got another Game 7.
Well, we love our final games in the series.
Yeah, Mike Bossy makes it 1-0. That's a good start on our first shot of the game. And Trache makes it 2-0. If the Islanders had a little better goaltending, or the Rangers had a little better goaltending in this, we'd be in big trouble.
Well, they didn't.
Not in great shape over it.
It's a good thing we didn't trade a goalie to them.
Well, they've got Van Beesbrook, so they've got a good goalie of the future there, just not quite there yet. And hanging on to that 2-0 lead, and we're just starting to pile up a lead on shots, too, for once. Yeah, Ratcast, I like that 1-16 playoff format, too. It was just murder on travel for some teams. Yeah, and the Rangers make it 2-1, so it's going to be close here. But Bob Bourne makes it 3-1. I think we might have this. And Butch Goring finally gets a goal in this playoff. Four to 1 Islanders halfway through the third, so I think we've got this one just about locked down. Oh, and Rangers get a late one from Jan Eriksson, so they're within 2. But nope, no empty netter for us, but we win 4-2. So that's round 2 down. And it looks like Montreal won their series, so it's, yeah, all the favorites have won so far. So it's us and the Canadiens again, and the Oilers and the Hawks. How many days we got left? No, LaFontaine's still a week or 2 away. I'm going to maybe sim the first couple of games. I think we're going to run out of time here. And we win the opener 3-2. Oh, we got our Hall of Fame committee choices. Let's see who we're going to nominate there. That's funny. I thought Glenn Hall was in the hall by this point. I have to check why it's doing that.
Glenn Hall? Hey, Guru Creative was just showing up.
And Canadians win game 2.
He was inducted in 1975.
Yeah, so something that's weird because the historical, when it does the Hall of Fame, it checks the dates to see if they're in the start, and they should know. Maybe maybe it's a challenge mode that's not doing it right. I have to get Malta to check that. And the Canadians win 5-2, so... Oh no. Potvin is out for 6 days. That is not good news. Although at least we've got Carlisle in this situation. We'd be in huge trouble if we hadn't made that trade. But Canadians win 3-2. We're losing everything by 1 goal. So this may be the last game for us.
No.
And gonna sim it. Cross your fingers. Here goes.
Fingers are crossed.
And another 5-4 1-goal win for Montreal, and that is the end of our challenge attempt.
Done.
We have failed.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't get the actual announcement yet, but I guess that'll be the end of the season. But so that is the end of the Islanders dynasty. Kind of ironically, because we replaced the Montreal one, we lose to Montreal, and the Oilers look like they're about to knock off Chicago, so let's just play this season out. Might have had a chance there, but we lost LaFontaine and Potvin, so I'm going to blame it on injuries. And the Oilers up 2-0 in the first 2 games of the final. And that is the end of the season. And the Oilers win the Stanley Cup in 5 games against Montreal. So they beat the Canadiens instead of us, but they wound up winning like they actually did. And let's just see how many points Gretzky wound up with in the regular season.
Too many.
Probably something ridiculous. 194. That's all.
Ooh.
82 goals. We got a couple in the top 10 at least, but oh man. But our typical playoff luck. I should have cheated and saved right at the beginning of the playoffs just so I could get the achievement.
Wow. What is that?
Yeah, no, now I'm annoyed. I'm going to have to go back and do it myself to replay it just so I can get that one. Mike Bossy, first team All-Star, and nobody else from the Islanders on the All-Stars, though. And Potvin wins the Masterton, which I think he actually got 1 year in there. Oh, my Hall of Fame vote. Yeah, I see a couple of guys here that were in the Hall by this point, so something's definitely going wrong there.
The stream is cursed. It's the jersey.
Yeah,
it could
I gotta
be.
stop wearing this one, yeah.
I mean, why would anyone wearing a Vancouver jersey win something important?
Well, they might make it to the finals and lose.
Yeah. Or perform horribly and still not make it.
And let's, whoops, I don't want to, oops, I think I may have screwed up the announcement of that we failed, because I had personal messages turned off.
That's okay.
Oh, there we go, there's our end screen now.
Our message telling us we failed.
Yep, historical challenge failed.
That's just what you want to see.
Should probably maybe change that so it specifies exactly what we failed at, but I'll leave it there. We blew it. So I either have to cheat and go back and rewrite Montreal so they're not quite as good in this season because they seemed a little bit better than they actually were, or make Potvin and LaFontaine a little more injury-proof. Although Potvin got hurt a lot in real life, if I remember right.
Oh, they had played a lot of games the previous 4 years.
Yeah. But, okay, well, we'll be moving on to, I guess, a different... I'm not sure if we're going to do another historical game after this, or maybe just... we'll still be doing your Florida game in alternate weeks, but maybe we'll do something a little different than, because we've done historical for the last couple of years now on the alternate weeks, so maybe we'll switch that up and do something a little different next time. But do you want to wind up here, I guess? A little past.
Sure.
Yeah,
yep. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/OOTP Developments. You can find all of our streams archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP Developments, where we are also getting some other videos up as well, but you can see all of our YouTube videos, all of our Twitch videos archived on our YouTube channel. If you would like to talk to us about Franchise Hockey Manager, you can do so on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Franchise Hockey Manager. On Twitter, we're at Franchise Hockey. Or you can come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com, and click on the community button, which will bring you to our official forums. We also have a Discord channel, and we'll put that in the show notes on our show notes. Man, I am just a little bit now. We will put that in the YouTube page notes, a link for that for people to join. So, Jeff, I think I got everything if I didn't mess it up too badly.
Yeah, no, just we happened to notice we got a little storyline thing in the at the end of the season here. Brian Sutter set himself on fire while barbecuing.
Well, that's about the perfect way to end it.
There we go. And we'll we've had updates out, I think, every Friday since release so far. There won't be one this week. We're working on a couple of things that are going to take a little more time to do. I figured out a few problems with the goalie start system, a couple of small things that we're going to change. We've got one addition coming, and Sebastian's been working on some stuff, trying to improve the processing speed of the game a little bit. I think he's did a bunch of that yesterday and today, so I'm looking forward to seeing my next internal build. But we've got some improvements coming, but they won't be this week. We will tell you a little bit more when we're getting closer to being able to release that. But until then, thanks for coming out, and we will see you guys next week when we're back with the Florida Panthers game, Modern Florida Panthers.